April Beach. I am the founder and CEO of Baby Planner Inc., and I am hosting this information call for you all today so that we can address the most common questions for people looking to get into the baby planning industry and the maternity concierge industry. And we'll talk a little bit about both of them and how they're similar and how they're different on today's call to help sort through some confusion that might have come up in the last couple of years regarding the terminology of the industry. So let's just go ahead and get started right away. Can everybody see the slides on the webinar okay? If you can't, you always can instant message me, and I'll be able to see that on my screen as well, or feel free to speak up and let me know. So a little bit of history about the baby planning industry. This is important to understand because we're actually carving out an entire new industry here. This is what we've been doing. And being part of something so special only happens, you know, once in a blue moon. I think that probably the last similar instance that we can refer to where a new service industry was carved out was when wedding planners came about. And we've tried to go back and actually determine when that was. I don't believe that it had such a marked beginning as baby planning has, but it's been about the last 20-25 years that wedding planners have been around. And people really just started actually using them in the last 20 years, maybe the last 15, 20 years since the mid-90s. So the baby planning industry really is a completely new industry, and I like to say to new businesses that you're literally a drop in the bucket of what it will be. But right now, there are only a couple hundred drops in that bucket. So you're actually at ground level of a brand new industry, which is so exciting to be a part of. But it's important to figure out why baby planning started, and it's important for you all to understand as you're either taking your established business and starting to grow that, figuring out how you want to grow that, or you're starting a brand new business. So we're going to back up just a little bit here so that this understanding is clear and so that you can actually convey this to your clients. You will be asked this often, so it's important that you know too. Baby planning, the first recorded baby planner in history was back in 2006, and it was a woman who started a company, Baby Planner UK. She was a professional executive woman that realized that she needed help when she was pregnant and there was nobody out there to help her. And her business went on record first in 2006. Baby planning, though it originally started in the UK, the United States has just become the international hub for baby planners, which isn't a surprise because our society likes to be catered to. We like things on demand, and we like people doing things for us. So it's certainly not a surprise. The first baby planning businesses in the United States on record were in 2007, and they were the Baby Planners, who are Ellie and Melissa in Los Angeles. They have done an amazing job to really start the beginning of this industry here. They primarily work with celebrities, and they primarily work in television and in media, and so they were the perfect pair to launch this industry here in the United States because they got in front of a lot of media and did a great job for the rest of us. Sweet Pea Baby Planners, which was my private baby planning company that I had owned. Premier Baby Concierge, which is owned by Shannon Cho up in Philadelphia, and It's a Belly Baby Planners, which is owned by Melissa Moog up in Portland, Oregon. And we formed the International Baby Planner Association back in 2007. And we're just going to talk a little bit about that in just a few minutes. But I also like to share one thing that we always actually caution our clients to, that's important who you're listening to when you're receiving counsel of any kind, whether it's for your business or your personal life or your children or anything else. So I always try to be really transparent on who I am so that you all understand who it is that you're talking to right now, so you can determine whether or not our consulting is the best fit for you. A little bit about myself. I first began providing baby planning services back in 2002, like 9 out of 10 women who become baby planners. And that actually means that I had my first baby in 2002. My oldest was born, who's 10 now, and I did what most people who enjoy helping other moms do. I would be in Babies R Us all the time, and I loved helping other people find things, and I loved researching products, and I loved, finding the best of the best, but not only that, but finding why. And so my story is similar to the majority of moms that I talk to that want to get into this career, is that you've always been the go-to person, you've always been the resource center, and that's a great qualification to bring you into this industry, to let you know at least you'll certainly enjoy what you'll be doing professionally. But I have 3 children. I have 3 boys. They were born in 2002, 2004, and 2006. And so my youngest right now is 5. And I realized that everybody was telling me what to do. I didn't like that. And so my creation for baby planning was actually different than some of the businesses that we see in the industry. And this goes down to the foundational consulting that our businesses receive through Baby Planner Inc., and let me explain that a little bit. The reason why, so my first business template, the reason why I got into baby planning back in 2005 was I created the first business template for birth choices. I've had a baby about every single way possible, from home birth to no problem hospital birth to an emergency cesarean section, where had we not been in the hospital, both of us would have died. And so there are pros and cons to every single type of way to actually deliver a child. And the home birth community completely hated the medical side, and the medical community completely shunned me because I had a home birth, and they felt like I was irresponsible and uneducated and, crunchy tree hugger. And so I realized that there was no place for moms to go where they could find absolutely unbiased pros and cons regarding birth. And so my first business template back in 2005 was really that. It was a transparent view of all types of birth options with no opinions and no guilt. It was just literally realizing, the facts and the pros and cons and putting it into a website. And I started moving in the road of that, and then I had my third child in 2006, and I realized that all that information is great, but what moms really need is confidence. And you can put all the information out there under the sun, but if they don't have confidence in their ability to make choices for themselves, then they always second-guess the decisions that they're making, and they tend to make choices maybe that their friend made or their sister made, and really not, in fact, the choices that they wanted to make and maybe what was best for their child. And so I realized that personal relationship between a new mom and a consultant was what was going to take all of that information and actually make it usable, actually make it mean something, and actually make it count. And so when I first thought of baby planning, I did all my thinking in the middle of the night when I was feeding my kids. It was the only time, as you can imagine, that my house was quiet with 3 boys. And I was up nursing my youngest one. It was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. The house was really quiet. And I was thinking about this new business model, and the term baby planner popped in my mind, and it was perfect. And so, I put them down, and of course I came downstairs and Googled the term baby planner, and at that time, the only one that I found was that woman in the United Kingdom, and so it was great. And that's really when that original business model went from all of this information to the personal relationship side of it, and that's when Sweet Pea Baby Planners was created. But since then, Sweet Pea Baby Planners was terrific, and the business model of Sweet Pea Baby Planners is something called Complete Baby Planning, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I no longer own Sweet Pea Baby Planners. Sweet Pea Baby Planners is owned by a woman named Jennifer Link, and she's located in New York City. And the reason for that was really the creation of Baby Planner Inc. I realized that my assets to the industry after Sweet Pea was launched and it grew and it was a very successful business, and it still is a very successful business, I realized that my assets to the industry were in helping the industry to grow. And the reason for that was that I was starting to consult all of my colleagues on business practices, and I have extensive experience in business consulting anyway. That's my background before I had gotten into this. And so I realized that, people needed help selling their services, and all these baby planners were out there, but nobody was making any money. And there were marketing issues, there were communications issues, and I realized that I could not wholeheartedly consult other businesses while I was still growing my own company. And for a while, I was doing business consulting in markets where Sweet Tea Baby Planters wasn't located, and I just had integrity and ethical issues with that. And so I made a choice back in 2010 to walk away from Sweet Pea Baby Planters and just help the industry through business consulting to all companies through Baby Planter Inc. So that is where we are. That is what I do. I think that there are integrity issues with business consulting and continuing to grow your own business at the same time, and so we don't do that. Baby Planter Inc. has 3 different programs under it, and we have 3 different websites to go with these programs. We're in the process of revamping and actually bringing them all back together with clear divisions under one babyplanterinc.com umbrella. But they are Baby Planter University, and that's what we're discussing the free information about boutique baby planning under today. We also have babysavvy.org, and I'll just talk a little bit about that, and then Baby Dream Gear, which we'll discuss next on our next call. So let's talk a little bit about how this industry got started and how the International Baby Planter Association formed the baby planning industry, how our hand was in that, and why. When we back to 2006, 2007, when we started forming our businesses, those 4 companies were simultaneously forming, and Melissa with It's a Belly and Shannon Cho and I started having conference calls together, and it was exciting to talk to other women that were forming the same businesses, and we really helped each other out, and we saw the value in having these conference calls, and so we determined that we needed to form an association to support other businesses. And I remember when we first sent out invitations for people to join, we only found 7 baby planning companies by the time that we sent that out. So we sent invitations out to all existing baby planners, and the association grew from there. Then in 2008, baby planners started popping up everywhere, and it was so exciting. I'm of the mindset that the more the merrier, because the first few years as a new business, all we did was to say what a baby planner is. It was exhausting, and so you couldn't really even get to the point yet of explaining why somebody needed you and why somebody needed to hire your business, because you first had to get through the first 5 or 10 minutes of explaining what it is that you did. Now baby planning is growing to the point where people are hearing about baby planners, and there isn't so much explanation, and there's more clients that are purchasing baby planner services. But back to 2008, so we started receiving applications, and it was funny. We started receiving applications from sonographers and photographers, and I don't know if you know this, but there's a term in the photography industry called a baby planner, and that actually is type of a service that photographers offer. So there was some confusion about what a baby planner was. And we started receiving applications from doulas and massage therapists, and I'm a baby planner, and I'm a baby planner. And so it was very clear that we needed to define what exactly a baby planner was. And for me, it was a very humbling time because I had only had my own business in existence for a couple of years. And it was important that we needed to have the foresight to protect the baby planning industry. And what I mean by that is we wanted to make sure that those people that were calling themselves baby planners were in fact meeting the needs originally set out by these first baby planning companies to meet the client's needs. We didn't want anybody coming along and saying, oh, I'm a baby planner too, and I'm a baby planner too. And we knew that the industry would never grow unless we put some definitions on it. So we took a very close look. And of those first core, I think at that point in time there were 12 to 15 businesses, of the first core businesses that had been formed that were all members of the International Baby Planner Association, we saw that there was one service that had never been provided before as a paid service until all these businesses emerged, and that was baby gear consulting. And it was very timely because in the 2000s, in the beginning of the 2000s, 2005, 2006, that's really when the entire juvenile product manufacturing industry started to explode. And I don't know those of you that had children or had nieces and nephews during that time or were involved in child care during that time, but this is when we started seeing safety becoming a huge concern, and marketing was becoming a huge concern. And all of a sudden, there was a tipping point from even when I had my first baby at 2002 until 2006. 2002 went from okay, well, it's just a regular old pregnancy, to 2006, it was the hottest thing in the world to be pregnant. Everybody was pregnant. Celebrities were pregnant, and so the emergence of so many products into the marketplace called for the need to have baby gear consulting as a paid service because it was just flat out too overwhelming for parents. And so we, as an association, defined very early in the beginning that baby gear consulting was a cornerstone service of baby planners, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that means. Again, we needed to have foresight to protect the new industry. We needed to make sure that somewhere down the road, a mom who was really hiring a baby planner wasn't going to get confused. And when she went and Googled a baby planner, she was going to actually find that personal consultant that had the experience and the dedication and the information to deliver to her, and that she wasn't basically going to be taken for a ride. And we needed to eliminate retailers. That was our original goal, was to eliminate retailers, because we saw an issue with consulting regarding the products and then turning around and selling them. We felt like that, especially in the beginning, that there could be some integrity issues with that. And so we wanted to go ahead and define what that is. So that's the history of the International Baby Planner Association, and I'm the co-founder of that association, and I was the director of marketing for the association for almost 5 years. But I resigned from that position to give full dedication to Baby Planner Inc. last fall. It's a great association. I recommend that after you form your business, or if you've already formed your business, that you join the International Baby Planner Association. It's a terrific opportunity to network with other businesses, and it's a great balance between a combination of businesses that are very seasoned and experienced and new businesses coming along. So we endorse IBPA. We really like IBPA, and Melissa and I have worked together for years, and I just think it's a terrific association. So back to Baby Planner Inc. a little bit. And so I shared how I had decided to walk away from Sweet Pea Baby Planners. And Baby Planner Inc.'s purpose, again, is to further the baby planning industry for business success, consumer awareness, and protection of the consumer. And so what that means is we saw all these baby planning businesses popping up, and the majority of people that are becoming baby planners are stay-at-home moms or women that are working full-time that want to stay home. And they needed business consulting. The entire industry needed consulting. The entire industry still needs consulting. And we were able to take the successes of the business philosophies from Sweet Pea Baby Planners, and we realized that nobody else in the industry had these, and that was part of the reason why the industry and some businesses were failing. And these successes were called the Sweet Pea Selling System and Complete Baby Planning. And these are things that we teach and we consult under Baby Planner Inc. now. The Sweet Pea Selling System, which it's no longer called the Sweet Pea Selling System, it's just a selling system. But what that means is that you have to have the ability to sell your services. You have to have the ability to analyze what your client needs and sell your services. And there was a problem there, because the majority of women coming into the baby planning industry were doing this because obviously everybody wants to make money, but they really loved what they were doing. And there was this hang-up between charging for something that you love. Having a business means you need to make money. And I was seeing all of these other businesses and my colleagues and people that I'd worked with for years, they still couldn't develop a proposal and they still couldn't sell their services. And so we took the entire selling system and proposal writing system and client intake and analysis part of Sweet Pea Baby Planners, and that is a huge component of what we do business consulting under Sweet Pea Baby Planners. So you can have all the information in the world. You can know everything about every single product. You can know everything about every single birth style and philosophy and methodology and psychology and organic this and that, but it doesn't matter if you're never going to sell your services. And so the selling system is a primary component of the consulting that this industry continues to need and that most businesses benefit from through our consulting. The other concept is called complete baby planning. And what Sweet Pea Baby Planners did that no other company at the time was doing was that the philosophy is you serve clients for an extended period of time. And you can run a business with a business model of meeting them for 2 hours and charging for 2 hours and then leaving. So, for example, you can meet with a client and talk about birth styles and philosophies for 2 hours and write them up some notes or help them make some decisions, and then your relationship's over. Or you could, meet at Babies R Us and do a baby registry, and then it's over. Or you can develop a relationship with that client and work with that client for an extended period of time, and you can hold their hand through the whole entire process. And that's what complete baby planning is, because in the end, that's what your client wants anyway. And I, like other businesses, started out with almost like that a la carte, one here, one there, one here, one there service. And I finally realized that I was in these appointments with these clients, and they were asking me breastfeeding questions, and they were asking me child care questions. They were asking all these things, and clients don't yet know what they're missing. They don't yet know what they need because they haven't been there before. 90% of clients that hire baby planners are first-time parents. And so complete baby planning is the ability for you to create a relationship with that client and hold their hand through the whole entire process. That original business model of serving clients a la carte will never make businesses the amount of money that they need and want to make to be self-sustaining. Complete baby planning is a business model where the average client that we build out for complete baby planning was in between $2,000 and $6,000. And so that is the type of client that, should you choose to form a business that you want to have, long-term financial success, you need to take on that sort of a complete baby planning concept, and that's also what we consult under Baby Planner University. And then the other thing that we specialize in is national growth for established businesses. So a lot of our clients are baby planning businesses that started on their own, that realize that they aren't making any money, and that, again, they can have all the information under the sun, and they can be, a doula and anything else that they have, but if you can't make any money, you can't have a business. And so we have a lot of businesses that come back that just have either private consulting with us, or the majority of even established businesses end up going through Baby Planner University because they missed that entire foundational time, and it's important for them to be able to go back and reform their foundations. And it's really almost like a switch in thinking. They need to switch their thinking of their business model. And the last thing that it isn't in here, but the largest component to a baby planning industry that we've found is marketing. And the first thing I did when I formed my baby planning company was I hired a marketing executive, and her name is Elizabeth McFadden. And Elizabeth has then come to be part of, she works for me. She works for Baby Planner Inc. She also owns L Marketing Communications, and she has become the leader, really, in the nation for marketing and branding baby planning companies. She's an expert at it. It's very hard for us because we end up developing such close relationships with all of our clients, when we see a client go and hire, for example, a marketing or a PR firm to represent their business, because all that client ends up doing is spending hours and hours explaining to the marketing firm what their company does. The industry is still so new that most marketing and PR agencies do not understand baby planners, and so companies that are hiring them are really wasting their time and money when what we do is just teach you how to market yourself, because nobody understands your business better than you. So that's another area that we really specialize in. Baby Planner Inc. you will certainly find true, unbiased consulting and support, and that's, again, why we needed to separate from Sweet Pea Baby Planners. And we specialize in bringing all four corners of the industry together. Those are manufacturers, retailers, organizations, and baby planners. It is important as a baby planner that you have established connections and relationships with those, not only those other local businesses that you need, but those other manufacturers and retailers and organizations on a higher level nationally, because that is the way that you're going to be able to provide better assistance to your clients, and that's the way that you're going to be able to further your understanding of what it is that you're delivering to them. So through different programs that we have, Baby Planner Inc. helps establish those type of relationships. Again, the three programs we have are Baby Planner University. And I'm going to get into depth about that in just a minute, so I'm just going to skip over that and just talk about the other two. Baby Savvy. Baby Savvy is the first baby planning program developed for hospitals. We developed the Baby Savvy program back in 2008. The first hospital that has Baby Savvy is located in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's called the DuPont Hospital. And we realized that baby planning needed to be delivered for those clients that couldn't, in fact, hire private baby planners. So there is a stark difference between hospital baby planning program and premier private baby planning programs, what we call boutique baby planners. This call and everything that we do as far as our business consulting for boutique baby planners is under the umbrella of Baby Planner University. The type of attention a hospital can give a client is 1/10 of the attention that a client will receive from a premier boutique baby planner. It is very, very different. So the programs and the business models are not in competition at all with each other because they reach a completely different target market. It's a completely different audience. But Baby Savvy is terrific. We're obviously very proud of that, and it is continuing to launch in hospitals nationally. And then the Baby Dream Gear class. The Baby Dream Gear class is, we'll talk about it in depth for those of you that want to join the next information call, but the Baby Dream Gear class is a class that I developed back in 2008, and the very simple reason why I did that was to generate leads for my company. The secondary reason why I did that is because there was no education regarding baby products. I felt like my clients and consumers were being taken, for a ride. Just because something is sold doesn't mean that it's safe, which is very, very scary. And so Baby Dream Gear is an amazing class that helps baby planners and doulas and birth educators or anybody now who would like to teach that class. There are even retailers now that are teaching that class to educate consumers on how to select wise products for themselves. That's what we want to do. It was my mission that nobody, again, was going to walk into a big, huge baby box, a box store, receive this entire list of things that they had to have to bring their baby home and feel like they had to buy it all. That is absolutely ridiculous, and it is not fair to the consumer. It's not fair to new parents to tell them they have to buy all that when, in fact, they don't. We have a philosophy that there are very, very few things that a baby needs in order to be brought home from the hospital, and we start out helping our baby planning companies understand that minimalist approach and then provide customized consulting for companies to then help their clients match their client's lifestyle with the products that are available, so the client actually is getting what they need and want. Okay, so let's really get into it here for you guys. What is a baby planner? It's important that you know how to explain this so that this is like your 15-second, elevator script. so that you can explain this in a way that makes you feel confident about what it is that you're doing or what it is that you propose to do. It will continue to open up a conversation, but it will also close a conversation and answer the question if you don't have enough time. So you can literally say that a baby planner is a personal consultant to new and expecting families, period. And that explains enough so that whoever's asking you the question can understand it, but it also gives you the opportunity to get into more depth about what you do and about what your company does. So if you guys can remember that one line, and use it on your website or use it on your printed materials or wherever you need, that seems to be the most successful way to explain what it is this industry does. Once again, in review, baby gear is a cornerstone service of the baby planning industry, and that is only because it was first offered in a formal setting by baby planners, by the first baby planning companies that started this industry back in 2006. However, that does not mean that you all have to be baby gear experts, and we have to really clarify that. I think people get confused when we say that, baby gear is a cornerstone service. I would say only 30 to 40% of our clients have what we would call a baby gear expertise. It does not matter. You do not have to be a baby gear expert. All this criteria is saying is that you do need to offer consulting regarding gear in some capacity. Your clients will want that. We know your clients are going to want that. But you may specialize in the sky's the limit of what you can specialize in for your business. You could specialize in eco-friendly consulting and removing toxins from your client's life. You could be a doula. A lot of our clients now are doulas that are making sure that they're getting that baby planning component in to further their businesses. You could be a doula. You could be a birth educator. You could be a nutritional consultant. You could be an interior designer. Every single company needs to have their area of specialty, and we talk very, very closely with all of our clients on how to determine what your specialty should be based on your area, based on your strengths, based on what the market is demanding for. And or you don't have to have a specialty, or you can start out like I did with Sweet Pea Baby Planners. Sweet Pea Baby Planners was the first comprehensive baby consulting company ever. What that meant was that we offered services all the way from what we called tummy to toddler. It was all the way from pregnancy to preschool, and we were very, very, very comprehensive. But there are pros and cons to doing that. I will tell you, it was the most exhausting thing I've ever done in my life. Also because I had 3 children, 4 and under at the time when I launched that. But it's not a bad idea, but it's also maybe not a good idea, depending on where you are. So really determining what your company's specialties are and what you like to do, and personally what you want out of your life, what you're interested in, what your own personal goals are, how your company can help you achieve your own personal goals for your family, for your future, for your own professional development, are all part of the things that we discuss through Baby Planner University, and then making sure that really fits into your company business model. And, of course, it's a model that's actually going to be successful for you in your area. So for example, if you want to be a baby planner that specializes in, home birth, I don't recommend doing that in Miami. People hate home birth in Miami, and so those are some of the things that we look at when we talk with our clients. But just to help you guys understand, baby gear is a cornerstone service. In order to be considered a baby planner, you need to offer baby gear consulting in some capacity, but it does not mean that you have to do it day and night. It just means that it needs to be offered somewhere in there. I will also say that baby gear consulting and baby registry creation are 2 completely different services. Most people don't understand that. They are 2 very different ways that you need to bill and serve your clients. And that's what we talk about under the consulting services webinar and section and also in the Trade Secrets book in Baby Planner University. So let's talk a little bit about what a boutique private baby planner means versus open offerings. That was really kind of what I was alluding to back a few slides ago. This entire information call and everything we do, again, under Baby Planner University is geared to premier boutique baby planners. That means that you are not Bye-Bye Baby coming to me saying that you want a baby planning program. You are not DuPont Hospital coming to me saying you want a baby planning program. Most of the people on this call are business owners who are one, or we have businesses that we consult that have up to eight owners, but you're still a private company located, usually or starting out to be located in 1 to 3 areas, and you are looking to launch a business that is a boutique business. These type of businesses serve higher-end, educated, executive families. They do also serve middle-class families who want a lot more information. So that is what a boutique private baby planner does. And again, that's what this whole entire information webinar in Baby Planner University is geared to. We do all of our other business consulting for larger companies who want to offer some type of aspect of baby planning into their business under the umbrella of Baby Planner Inc. But those companies, again, will never ever be able to serve clients to the extent and to the developed trusted relationship that boutique baby planners do. So helping boutique baby planning companies is really our passion. Who is not a baby planner? A medical professional is not a baby planner. A retailer is not a baby planner, nor is a doula or a midwife or any sort of specialty vendor. A massage therapist is not a baby planner. Now, again, these companies can add a baby planning component to their business. And, for example, a doula or a midwife could become that private premier boutique baby planner and really specialize in that. But a medical provider or a big box retailer will never be able to do that because their primary form of business generation is something other than baby planning. So when you go along and you're forming your business and you're seeing other people form baby planning companies around you, it's also important that you have this to explain to them and to your clients as to why your company is different. This premier boutique criteria, just to kind of recap again for you all, it's important that you keep this in mind when you're establishing your services, is that you have the year consulting is defined. You have little or no retail. You certainly can retail, but you have little or no retail. And you offer what's called in-home or in-life support. That is very important to be a premier boutique baby planner. That means you'll go to their office or you'll go to their home. A medical provider will never be able to do that for liability reasons. Certainly none of our hospital clients can have one of their RNs go to somebody's house. That's never going to happen. And so once again, the client that's being reached by this premier boutique baby planner is the kind of client that wants that type of service. The client that will go to a hospital and try to take some classes under a program that calls itself a baby planning program is completely different and is not even the type of client that would spend $2,000 to $6,000 on your services. So you aren't missing anything when you see these other programs coming up, but it's really important that you're communicating why your company is different. Other optional services based on company specialties, like we talked about, you can be eco-consulting or nursery design, nutritional support. You can be an IBCLC or a lactation consultant. Any other specialty is highly recommended to differentiate your company from others in your area and to make sure that your market is getting what it needs out of your company. And we do ask when we're reviewing for premier boutique baby planners, and this is what the IBPA will ask as well, is that when we come to your site, we don't want to say, click here for party planning, click here for wedding planning, click here for baby planning. We would like to have your website be exclusively a baby planning website to be identified as a premier boutique baby planner. Go ahead and switch through here. I'm always so long-winded on these calls. I have so much to say. Baby planning facts. How's the industry doing? The industry is doing okay. I do not recommend somebody quit their job and open a baby planning business in order to cover their mortgage 60 days later. I went 8 months without my first client in this industry. Now, granted, it will be totally different for you. That was years ago. I mean, how many years ago? I can't even. That was 6 years ago. So, and nobody knew what it was that we were doing then. But it will take you a while to get started. And being a mom and needing to make money myself, I'm always really cautious to say that this is a great business to get into. It's a great industry to get into, but it's really, really, really important that you that you are not putting all your eggs in this basket immediately. Usually the rule of thumb is that any new business takes 3 years to make money. I don't see that it'll take that long. It's not taking that long for the majority of our clients, but it is something to keep in mind so that you have an opportunity to meet your family's needs. A couple of things that I do want you to take into consideration when you're thinking about starting your new company are what your short-term goals are and what your long-term and your immediate goals are. How much can you accomplish and in what period of time? Do you need to launch your company very fast? Is there a competitor that is perhaps launching and establishing local partnerships that you want to have established, or not? And I want you to set out a timeline. We have a worksheet. It's the very first worksheet that we do in the very first webinar, and it's setting your financial goals, and it's telling you how many clients you need to achieve in a certain period of time in order to meet those goals. It's very important to see that on paper so that when you write your business plan that you know what you have to do. I want you to think about how much money you're willing to put forward into your business to get started. Every business is going to need some sort of an investment, but it doesn't mean that you have to finance it. You could start slowly and pay as you go and invest money into your company as you're able. The benefits of starting a baby planning business, certainly a boutique baby planning business, is that in most cases these businesses work from home. You have an opportunity to grow a business where you can open multiple locations. We do a lot of consulting as far as multiple locations. We actually take the trade secrets book and we customize the trade secrets book for our clients, so you actually have an entire company manual already available for you that you can use to grow your own business. But then yet again, the challenges that we're finding with new companies is that most new companies really don't have that marketing and branding experience, and they don't have the PR experience that they need in order to grow. And that's where Elizabeth teaches 2 of our webinars, and she co-authored the Trade Secrets book, so that everything that is in her head as far as how to market and branding baby planning businesses is delivered to our clients so that you have the ability to do that as well. And then beyond the initial baby planner university program, we also offer one-on-one consulting and branding and marketing strategies as well if you feel like you need that. One of the next challenges that we talked about a little bit is this client base, how to establish your client base and then how to sell your services. So once you generate the leads, whether it's through an established business that you already have or relationships that you already have, turning it around and actually having them sign your contract and hire you and retain your services is the second place businesses get hung up. So the first place is really marketing and branding and figuring out your company communications. And the next place is, okay, now we can't sell any of our services, and figuring out what to charge. And so in order to do that, we walk you through in the Trade Secrets book. It's the largest chapter in the book. It's like over 100 pages in the book. It's not even a book, by the way. The Trade Secrets manual is a huge 3-inch 3-ring binder, and it has 15 different sections in it. But the one regarding consulting services is really important. So we lay out every single baby planning service for you. We give you the steps to provide every single baby planning service, and then variations of the steps to provide every single service, so whether or not the service is provided in-home versus out in a store. And then we tell you how long it will take you and how long it should take you, because it's going to be totally different. The first time you perform a service, it's going to take you a lot longer than you actually can bill your client for. But you, usually as a parent or somebody that works full-time, needs to be able to prepare and understand how long this actually is going to take you to do it. And then you're going to get better at it. So we'll tell you how long it should take you, how long it actually will take you, and then we have a section called By the Numbers. And we help you define a scope of what you can charge for that service and whether or not we recommend that service is flat rated or whether or not that service is brought in under a complete baby planning concept, so it's just offered within a larger retainer, or whether or not you should just bill for it hourly. And we do that with every single baby planning service that there is that can be offered. And that is available for you to take. And you have to have that in order to write a proposal. So, for example, when our clients meet with their clients and you're making a list of, okay, you could use this help and you could use that help and I'd like to provide this support for you, then you need to go back and you need to write that proposal. And if you as a new business owner don't have any idea how to provide that service, which none of our new companies do, or I should say not none, few of our new companies know how to efficiently provide the service, then you certainly aren't going to be able to estimate your time then in a way that's fair to your clients so you're not overbilling them, and that's fair to you that you're getting paid for the service that you're providing. And after you write a few proposals and after you serve more and more clients, then that'll get easier and easier for you. But that is what we have, our feedback that we get is everybody loves that the most, because it's giving you a compass for something that you haven't professionally done before. And without it, it's very, very difficult to make money to do that. So those are some of the benefits to the book, but the problem is, again, is delivering your promises that you need to deliver to your family or to the family that you're serving, and then also taking care of your own family. So you know, okay, it's actually going to take you 6 hours to provide this service and not 2.5. So my background, in addition to business consulting, is marriage and family counseling. And so my husband and I were premarital counselors and marriage counselors for years before we had kids. And so when a mom starts a business, especially a new venture, it's difficult, or a wife, it's difficult to do that because it's a road that nobody's walked down before. And so opening the lines of communication within your own family so that expectations can be set up for success is also something that I personally just have an emphasis on anyway when we do our business consulting, because, you know, when the whole family's happy, everybody's happy, and then you're able to think clearer and actually be really successful. So basically knowing whether or not something is going to take you 20 hours or 40 hours to provide helps everybody who's involved in your professional life and your personal life during the first 6 to 9 months that you're starting your business. And I have, of course, I'm long-winded. So I have a question here that I want to address, and before we get off this call. And so the next steps are, if you all are interested in getting started with Baby Planner University, I would ask that you email Brooke, it's BROOKE, at babyplannerinc.com, and we're happy to address any other questions that you might have. All of our webinars are offered on demand. We found that was the best way to do that, so they're all pre-recorded webinars. But then we also love meeting with our clients one-on-one. So that is available as well, and that's actually our favorite thing to do, is to meet with you guys one-on-one. I will go ahead and let me just go over this last slide really quick. And estimated from the feedback we received that our clients save 18 to 24 months minimum on startup time by going through Baby Planner University and by laying a good foundation. You also receive all the forms and checklists and the complete business plan that you need in order to start your business, and they're all available for you to customize for your own company. Now, this next slide is going to address the question I have on the board. Let me read it here. Excuse me just a minute. So the question was that I mentioned that a medical provider will never be able to open up their own business and this particular question is from a pediatric nurse, and why wouldn't she be able to do that? Okay, so I did not do a good job explaining that. We actually do have numerous clients that are either, we have quite a few actually pediatricians now that are our clients that are becoming baby planners, and pediatric nurses as well that are opening baby planners, baby planning businesses. You absolutely can do that. I was actually referring to the hospitals that are taking over the Baby Savvy program. Hospitals that have our Baby Savvy baby planning program are not able to leave that entire facility and go serve clients privately because the entire hospital's liability policy appears to inhibit them from doing that. However, we serve private pediatric RNs and lactation consultants and pediatricians that are involved in private practices that have opened baby planning businesses or who have added baby planning services to their practices, and that's fantastic. We love doing that, and you absolutely can and should add baby planning services to that established expertise that you already have. It is a win-win for everybody involved. In most cases, we recommend that our businesses that are not that do not have a medical background partner with pediatric RNs and pediatricians because their clients need that anyway. So if you are a pediatric RN, or if you are a pediatrician, or if you are an OBGYN at a private practice or an OBGYN nurse, adding baby planning services to your established healthcare facility or becoming a private baby planner on your own is absolutely perfect. It is actually probably one of the best business models that we've actually seen. And we do, like I said, quite a bit of consulting for businesses in that. And that's what we call our business integration and expansion consulting. So that is where we come in and we take the specialty that you already have, whether you are a retailer, a doula, or a doctor, a midwife, or a birth instructor, or a pediatric RN, and we offer private consulting to first determine what part of Baby Planner University you should go through. I don't want anybody going through all of Baby Planner University if you don't need it. I think that's a waste of your money, and I think it's a waste of your time. So what we want to do with businesses that have another area of specialty is determine where you are, and then we might pick and choose a couple of the components of Baby Planner University, and then we'll combine that with private business consulting for you. The Baby Planner University works perfect for those private boutique baby planners that are not in the medical field, that are not retailers. And it meets those needs 120%. But again, if you have an area that you are an expert in, then we would want to meet with you first and really help to figure out what it is that we offer, and that would be a good fit for you. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, as far as the cost of the programs as well, I would say that private consulting is separate, and going through the program is also on demand, and it's also separate. All of that can be found at babyplanner-u.com, and then I would also ask that you would email Brooke at babyplannerinc.com, because if you don't need all of it, then Brooke and I can talk to you, as well as Liz and Kelly and some other of our business consultants can talk to you, and we can help you figure out exactly what you do need, because the price might not be on there. I don't believe that every single business has this cookie-cutter approach and everybody has to do the same thing. So we really customize our business consulting to meet our clients' needs. So if you could email Brooke, actually I'll go ahead and I will just put her email address in here. If you could email Brooke after this call, and then I will also put her direct line in here, then she can set up a time for us to talk, and she also can address your questions, and we can go from there. And then I do have one other question, and we're going to be late on to our next call, and I apologize that I'm so long-winded and you guys didn't get a chance to have a lot of open time questions. This is a question: will I be able to attend the Baby Dream Gear course? If so, what is the call information for that? Okay, so I believe that Brooke emailed out the link and the access to the Baby Dream Gear call that's coming up next. But if you could, I will tell you, if you have not received that, I'm going to give you my email address right here if you'd like to access this next call regarding the Baby Dream Gear class. If you could just shoot me over an email, then I will go ahead and send you the access and the link to get onto that call next, and what Baby Dream Gear is and why we think that that's really beneficial for businesses. Does anybody have, I'm just going to have to tell Brooke we're running a few minutes late, does anybody have any questions that weren't up on the board that I didn't have an opportunity to address? Nope. Nope. Okay. All right, great. So we'll look forward to connecting with you all one-on-one. Please email Brooke to go ahead and get started. And you're welcome to also email me directly anytime you want with any questions. And I appreciate your time. I hope that we answered a lot of your questions, and whether or not you choose to take our business consulting or that of another company's, I want you to know that we are a resource, and we are available to all businesses who have gone through any program. We actually serve quite a few businesses that have gone through other programs and received different certifications that just are missing that business consulting side in order to help with their success. So I will look forward to connecting with each one of you guys, and we'll go ahead and end this call now, and we'll look forward to hearing from you all soon.